Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments on YouTube. What we do is we report the news, the emotions, the pops, the drops, the things that go down, the things that Rudy promises you a trip around the moon, and the things that Rudy promised you to send you to the Pound Town, USA. Today is an interesting conversation regarding, sparked by some patron messages asking me, Rudy, will you do a conversation? It's been a while since we've talked about the overall state of the LGS, what stores are going through since we're in the new 2024 market cycle. We're out of the bear market. Can you give like a, how's everything going? How's the state of things? Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. In my opinion, from 2024 all the way back to when I put the first videos on YouTube in 2016, that's a long time. 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we're halfway, Rudy's 9.3 years on YouTube. Not much has really changed. How you all feel and how I feel has changed. We don't like the direction of Magic. Maybe we think the print runs are still too high. I know a lot of you all hate the concept that Wizards has created a new avenue of financial value with serialized cards. A lot of people are angry with the 100 million variants of cards. A lot of people are angry with the Universes Beyond doesn't feel like the way Magic used to be. These are all facts. These are actual facts that everybody feels around the world. And that's just where it is. Eventually you get to a point where you get over these hurdles and you accept that this is where it's going. No matter if I agree with it or not, the data supports that people are spending money and people like the direction of where it's going. Even if Rudy doesn't like it, even if I still think Secret Lairs are annoying, even if I still think Universes Beyond doesn't feel like Magic anymore, the facts remain. Secret Lairs remain incredibly successful. Secret Lairs, keeping them sealed, historically now, yes, some stay flat, some have gone down, just like every other collectible product, but many Secret Lairs have done incredibly well. And many Secret Lairs are only a couple years old, and they have 2x, 3x, 4 extra money. There have been many good investments, bunny ears, that Secret Lairs have provided flippers and evil investors with scalpers. Sorry, almost forgot the word. These are facts, okay? Even if I don't like it, this is what's going on. Sealed product has changed. The print runs, the volumes, the variants, the serialist cards, collector boxes are the worst, draft boxes are good, set boxes are okay, play is the future. You know, everything's for Commander. All these moving components. The only thing that's certain is uncertainty. No one knows where things are going to go. Rudy can't tell you what box to buy that's going to make you wealthy. There is no get-rich-Rudy left nut program I can sell you that cracks the code of money. If I knew that code, I wouldn't be working so much. I wouldn't be doing all this. I wouldn't be hoarding inventory of every draft box. I wouldn't be doing these things if I knew exactly which product was going to skyrocket. If I knew which thing was, well, nobody knows, okay? And that is the nasty truth of this shit, man. And today, basically, after a couple patron messages I was going through, and the conversation's starting to boil over again from, I'm going to assume a Facebook or Reddit post or something, maybe another YouTuber or maybe a streamer, an Instagram, Twitch, whatnot, something. There's been a lot of chatter about prices, the race to the bottom, and here we go again, pre-orders, pre-order canceling. There's been a lot of chatter. This stuff kind of boils over and swings back around every 6 months. Videos like this give me as much enjoyment as when I make another Pokemon video of, all right, what Pokemon set spike this time? Really? Scarlet Violet? Mr. P? Wait, no. We have a Scarlet Violet box? It's over 130, 140? Mr. P on Scarlet Violet's 130 plus tax? Really? Is it that high? I didn't think Scarlet Violet did anything. Fuck, who cares? We go back to these things. And first I want to lay a piece of ground framework for everybody. The collectible world used to be 3,000 LGSs. So let's say 2,500 LGSs. Operates on a basic concept. Every store orders the same products. Every store gets the product at the same time. Every store needs to sell those products. Boy, the lighting's too bright. Every store needs to sell those products and get their capital back to prepare for the next release. And if a store or a business like me carries a lot of product lines, the schedule is always going to have something every 7 to 14 days. This is what it is. Every store undercuts each other, and it becomes a game of who will take the least amount of profit to get their money back, sell inventory, until the product becomes either unprofitable, selling at a loss, or some of the stores simply just fold and throw it in the back Rudy rooms and let it be. This is the same system that's been going on for 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. Well, not pre-internet era. The last 10 to 20 years, post-internet, eBay, post-2000s era. Let's just say 20 years. This is the same concept. The difference between today and a long time ago is the rate of change, the velocity, the rate, the speed, the rate of change. Okay? That is the only difference from 20 to 30 years ago to today. Every store in the past did the same thing. The difference today? That information moves really, really quick. Sorry, that light is so bright. I don't know how I look on camera, but that just seems really bright. I think the lighting's too strong. Hang on. I'm going to adjust the lighting some. It might be a little darker. Is that better? Oh my God. The lighting I just had was like reflecting off like the outside. And so today, when things happen, the prices move faster than they've ever moved. But besides the rate of change, everything's the same. Old farts like me yell at the clouds saying, I miss the olden days of magic and blocks and not printed demand and no universes beyond my middle nut and no secret layers. Sure. But this is where we are. And now we're going to talk about customers and everything. Because I had an interesting patron message, and usually when I get 3 or 4 of the same thing, usually it's a hot topic on a social media, maybe a Discord, Facebook, MySpace, something. So maybe someone comment below if you think you know the originations of this. So I work so much, I don't really have the time to, and I don't have Facebook, I don't have the Discord thing, I don't do all this crap. And a store that I knew for a long time decided to not sell collectibles anymore in the 2023 era crash. And the reason for it was they just said the amount of risk in reserving in advance with distributors without knowing anything, the amount of gambling, reserving, capital at stake to try to sell boxes of new product to make $10, $20, $5, $30. The risk is so high for the minimal potential reward and the amount of money you have to tie up. Now on Wall Street, when we talk about risk reward, we always say things like, hey, the risk-free rate's 5%, right? There are many brokerage firms right now. I can take $10,000, put it in a brokerage firm, leave it in some FDIC-insured cash sweep money market, whatever. And actually, there's probably even, government bond funds or whatever. But I mean, you can put it in cash, and you can make around 5% with doing nothing. Now, because you're capped at making 5%, you can't 10x your money. But because you don't have that kind of upside, you also have no downside. If you're an FDIC money market CD or anything, you have no downside. You just literally, if it has a lock, you wait till at maturity. If it doesn't, well, you just collect your interest until you need the money. But now when you want to do things where you make 10, 20, 30% potentially, you're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40% downside risk also. If you take any major, Dow component, okay, the Dow 30 stocks, let's pick on a big boy. What do you want to pick on, like some big Amazon? Oh, let's pick on NVIDIA. I mean, is that even a Dow component? S&P, whatever. If you want to ride the big hot train, sure, you could double, 3, 4, 5 extra money. But at the same time, we don't know what the future is going to be. We don't know if another company is going to come along and play catch up to how far in advance that company is. We don't know if that company just takes over the world and just literally buys everything. Nobody knows. So again, when you have massive upside, you also have massive downside. If, let's say, company B comes along, look, we should use a funny example. Like in the 90s, America Online, AOL, for all you old farts out there, instant messenger, chat rooms. When AOL came out, everybody thought AOL and Yahoo were going to take over the world. Well, they were first to market with many things. They had a ton of, views and users and clicks and all this crap in the 90s, okay? But they didn't really win the long game. Other companies emerged, piggybacked off their starting point, and did it better. And they kind of won the long game. The Googles, the Amazons, the Apples, and all this stuff. And, in the card world, I'm going to swing it back now. You need to understand, there's a lot of type of customers and people out there, okay? When I've been doing this so long now, I'm pretty good at kind of getting an idea that if someone signs up for my Patreon account and like, hey, Rudy, I'm going to take over the world. I've got the new groundbreaking elevator pitch of blah, blah. I get pitched so many things on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I can't even keep track of it. But I also know, I don't want to say like desperation is like a specific odor or a stink or like a red flag, but you can start to learn people in human behavior very, very quickly when you do things a long time. And there are types of customers and you all out there who watch my videos, and like the type of people who watch this channel, you're going to have some people who watch my videos that just simply hate me. They hate everything I stand for. They think Magic cards should be free game pieces handed out at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, one Magic card per waffle fry. You have other people who maybe they used to own a card store in, I don't know, Alaska, and Rudy, the guy from Florida, ruined everything for them. You know, there's going to be different degrees and perspectives and, you know, kind of stories built with why someone may watch this channel. Other people watch this channel who never even handled a Magic card, and they just find it interesting. Other people become a patron just to ask me questions. They never buy anything. Other people buy everything, and then when the crash happens, they lose on everything. Other people have been buying everything for 8 years from me, and they've made hundreds of thousands. We don't, everything's different. There is going to be no set story. There's going to be the ability to put context around positive and negative on everything. Now, so when I talk about customers, this is for all the store owners and people out there trying to sell on eBay, sell on TCG Player. Remember a few things. Most people quit selling on eBay and TCG Player because they get scammed. The number one reason people quit selling or flipping or anything online is because somebody hoses them. Okay? Let's get that right front and center. The number one reason people quit any form of selling is, and I've seen it a million times, Rudy, I sold like 100 things in TCG Player, but man, I sold this $300 card. They returned they swapped it out with a different card. They opened up the sealed box, didn't hit a lottery card, didn't hit a serialized card, and they returned the whole box of cards, or they returned a brick inside the box and they hosed me. And I lost $300. This thing's not worth my time. I sell these other things. I only make $2 a piece. I sell one item. Somebody hosed me. I lose $300 and undone all the work I did for the month. What's the point of this shit? Stories like that are real. They do happen, but at the same time, the difference is not if, but when. If you sell online, eventually someone who doesn't like you is going to steal or hose you. Okay? It happens to me all the time. Happens to every store owner I've ever talked to. The difference between me and you and Billy Joe in the corner and Sally, Negative Nancy, and Happy Debbie Does Dallas over here, wrong analogy. The difference between all these people is how you react when good and bad things happen. Me, when something great happens, there's a huge success. The recent Flesh and Blood Mistveil set. Most successful Flesh and Blood thing I've been a part of in the age of 3-4 sets. Okay? Sorcery, huge success. Randomly, I had a little white sale like a month ago for the Bang Dream Party, these little premium boxes. Didn't even expect much demand. Usually, it's not a hot seller. Blows out, people are going crazy for it. And I'm like, wow. The difference, though, is when these positive events happen, I'm very cautious with the money. I save it, I invest it, I buy more other things. I don't really travel and do a lot of fun. I like to in the future, but I'm always afraid that it's going to come to an end. The next bad thing is around the corner that's going to reverse the positivity. Look what happened with me and this channel and my patrons with like Carlo of Manor. Sold Carlo of Manor, comes out, just tanks. Doesn't recover, just tanks. It says fuck everybody. Then Fallout comes out. Oh my God, what are those things, like $600 a collector box? They're the new all-time high. And nobody can get them. So think about it. If you're a Rudy patron, if you're a customer to any LGS in the United States, you buy a box of Carlo of Manor, it's okay, I don't really care for it. Prices tank, you lose half your money. And then an amazing Magic product comes out. Everybody wants it, amazing. Nobody can get it. Price is 3x. To the moon. 300% return. Literally within 3 months, right? Nobody can get it. Everybody's angry. Orders get canceled. So again, if you are, and then of course, what's Rudy do? Well, I strike some little dirty deal to get extra collector boxes of Fallout, but I had to buy Carlo, so we made a little bundle of crappy Carlo with a Fallout box, which I guess still worked out pretty good because I think the Fallout boxes were like, it was like 400. And then the Carlo was like 150 a box so what, that's 700. I guess that is still okay. Well, I guess it still worked out pretty good. I guess it went up $200. Okay. But the point is, this is how the market works. And if you're trying to run a business or do anything online, you are not going to be able to make everyone happy. The key, just like any investment, any life choice, is what is the best possible decision or outcome you can do. There's no such thing as I'm gonna make everything perfect. That doesn't work that way. You can be angry if Billy Joe over here and Rudy the plumber and Timmy the whatever. We can make fun of them for getting something wrong. We can make fun of them for having dumb luck and 10xing their money on something silly. But at the end of the day, you can't really judge a store or a customer or a YouTuber or anything on something like that. You have to look at the whole context, the history, how many things have been right, how many things have been wrong, and you have to do the best you can. Which brings me to the next thing. So a lot of people right now, and a lot of businesses struggle with this whole race to the bottom thing. Okay? That topic seems to be boiling back up again because we had the Carlo collapse. Then, of course, we had, the recent, the Ixalan's Ravnica Remasters go straight up, go out of print. Lord of the Rings straight up, go out of print. And, of course, at Thunder Junction did really well. Play boxes are still super expensive. Everything did really well. Collector boxes came out, held steady, and the market continues to thin out. So probably within 6 to 9 more months, by the end of the year, Outlaw's Thunder Junction collector boxes is going to continue to thin out, and the price is going to start going up. It's probably going to be, by the end of the year, Thunder Junction collectors will probably be $250 to $300. Because, again, print runs are adjusted. What's out there is just slowly thinning out, and then eventually the cheapest ones get bought out, and it drifts up. Okay, but in the short term, everybody, there is always going to be a segment of people that are going to be very difficult to handle. Okay? There's going to be customers that are going to give you a hard time. You overcharge for everything. You're going to have local customers walk into your store, and they're going to pre-order things, and then the spoilers will come out. They'll say, fuck you, give my money. I ain't buying that shit. And the store's already on the hook for some $10,000, $50,000 order. And the store's going, are you serious right now? And then that customer comes back, and that's the same customer that'll get upset that you couldn't give them 100 boxes of Fallout. Okay? Then they get mad again. As the people, kind of the middlemen, the Rudys, the LGSs, all of the thousands of people that are in this industry, between store owners and employees, actually probably tens of thousands if you include all the employees, we're all in the middle of this thing trying to navigate the best we can. But to give you guys an idea, when I started the Rudy YouTube and the Rudy Patreon, it was 2016. From 2016 to probably 2019, 2018, the first 4 years, I kind of let it run free for all. There was no caps on how many people could sign up. People could just sign up and close, sign up and close. I didn't block people and lock them out. There was no system in place so that when you closed your Patreon account, you couldn't come back. Then everything was just kind of a free for all. Okay? And I allowed patrons to make their own Rudy private Facebook groups, Rudy private Discord servers, all these things and all this stuff, because I thought that would be fun. They could talk, they'd do your thing, and I was kind of an adamant of just kind of let the market just naturally evolve and do its thing. And I learned over 9 years of doing this that I was a dumbass. Man, did I get that wrong. And I learned the importance of you have to maintain some sort of stability in a business. If the risk of an individual or a customer or a store or a business starts to get too volatile or unstable, or it makes you make that, that ooh kind of face, yikes, you're going to have to sever ties with that. Even if it's nasty, even if that customer, that store owner, the guy who walks into your local store every Monday morning, no matter who the person or the business is, if the risk hits a certain level, you have to ban them. You have to get rid of them. It becomes like an evil virus, disease, cancer, whatever word you want to use. And you have to remove that. Even if it means losing a $15 patron that pays you. Even if that means losing a guy who walks into your store every pre-release and spends $500. If the risk of problems or threats of blackmail or risk of pre-order canceling or risk of disputes and chargebacks where we got to fight you for 3 months on a PayPal. We go back and forth until half the time PayPal foots the bill or something stupid. The risk of all these things becomes too high. You have to get rid of some people. And that's where, unfortunately, there is a degree of censorship banning that a store has to do to maintain stability. Okay? It is for the greater good to keep the business profitable and stable. And I know, I blew you all's mind like a year ago. Remember what I told you all? It was that hot take. Number one, I don't live in a basement. I know, fucking freak people out. Number two, Alpha Investments tries to make money. I know, these were major bombshells that I dropped before. So when now, I run a very strict system, and many stores and many other people have copied and done the same thing, and I always know the system works because, well, we're getting ready to have Modern Horizons 3 coming out in a few weeks, right? And right now I'm probably getting between 2 to maybe 4 messages a day of old customers or old patrons for the last 7 to 10 days. Rudy, I can't make a Patreon account. I closed my account before, and I'm trying to come back, and it's not letting me in. It says I'm blocked or banned or restricted. So yeah, again, as stated, for the last 5 years straight since 2020, I don't allow opening and closings. And that system was built around 2020 in the COVID era, when I was spending a lot of time in the office auditing things, and I was discovering patron accounts that the same people were opening and closing 5, 8, 10, 14 times over 5-6 year periods. And I was like, these, and of course my favorite is well, Rudy, something bad happened. I got to cut my expenses. And of course, right before they close their account, they order $3,000 worth of product, but they're having money problems. So, eventually when you do something long enough, the point of the story is you learn the patterns. You learn the behavior. You learn what kind of people are going to be unhappy. You learn what kind of people are genuine good people that you actually want to keep around, and if there's problems, you want to work with them, you want to help them, you want to maintain that type of relationship. And with everything in life, you have to get rid of the toxic ones, the ones that are volatile, the ones that are unstable, the ones that could cause severe losses. And the more you do things, the easier it is to pick them out. So my advice to you all out there, number one, if you're a store owner or an LGS owner or anything, if you have high-risk customers that return a lot of things, cancel pre-orders, they come in the store saying, if you don't get me this, I'm going to go online and review bomb you or bash you or post on social media, you need to just tell them, hey, attack me, bash me on the internet all you want, I can't do business with you. Because what happens is you need to decide, is it worth taking short-term punches to the face and negativity, or is it worth to keep going until something major happens? And that teeter-totter, the worst part about life is that teeter-totter, both ends suck. Okay? Option A, you piss off the customer, and they're going to review bomb, attack you, make fun of you, ridicule you on social media, whatever they're going to do. Maybe they Photoshop messages, adjust things, make it look really bad. I've seen it all. Okay? Or B, you do nothing, and maybe they buy a lot, and something bad happens, and it escalates, and there's a huge dispute, or transactions, or payment, or maybe you don't know. Both ends of that are negative. There is no positive outcome. You have to make decisions in life that no matter what the decision is, it's negative. You now shift your brain to making decisions that have the least amount of negativity. There is no positive outcome. Which choice gives me the least amount of potential problems? And actually, I got a good one for you all. I got a real good one for you all. And then let me jump back. I know this is a weird video. Sorry, I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this shit. So when talking about the patron account opening and closings, the shitty part about putting a strict system in place is some good people get caught in that net. And I can't tell the difference sometimes. And sometimes there are genuine people from 2021 or in the crash that lost their job, and they had to cut all their cable and expenses and Patreon accounts and everything. And then things got better and they want to come back, and my system kicks them out, and it's not their fault. Unfortunately, to maintain that stability and protect yourself against some of these bad people, the worst part about this stuff is sometimes good people get caught in that net. And that's the shittiest part about having to have systems in place. Okay? So let's jump to the next thing here. So I just want people to understand the race to the bottom, the customers,